Support for Champ and the Tramp is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. They obsess over their technology developments to provide you the best tools for your grooming experience. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. We have an exclusive offer for our listeners, 20% off free shipping with code CHAMP at manscaped.com. Manscaped hooked me up with a bunch of tools and formulations for their Perfect Package 3.0 kit. Frank, using your old trimmers, probably, I'm assuming, with a wire, probably the same one you use for your face. You got any stories about nicking yourself up?
You know, early in my fighting career, I used to think I needed to shave my whole body.
More aerodynamic?
More aerodynamic, maybe a little less on the scale, and I definitely nicked the nuts a couple times to get in the grundle. Not very pleasant. This, on the other hand, much better.
I mean, think about it from a fighter's point of view. That's an open wound for a staph infection. That's not where you want to get a staph infection.
Exactly. So Manscaped's the way to go.
Good thinking, pal. Good thinking. Manscaped has created the best ball hair trimmer ever, the Lawnmower 3.0. Their third-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents. Thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology, I now feel confident shaving my boys. In addition, this trimmer comes with an LED light, which is definitely handy. I've noticed that, for a more precise shave, and is waterproof to make your shave clean and easy. Do you shave in the shower?
I usually do it before the shower.
Yeah, I put a towel down. I don't know. You know what it is? It's like when I'm trying to bend over in the shower and get my grundle, I got the water going in my face. I can't see. I feel like,
You're
I'm
pretty
not
tall too. It's shot right in your face.
I'm not getting everything. So I stand there and kind of like put the leg up, and I do it on a towel. And don't use the same trimmer you use on your face as your balls, obviously. I think that's the old school way of doing it. I think we all used to do that, and then you got the wire and you're getting it all tangled around your legs. The Lawnmower 3.0 comes inside their brand new Perfect Package 3.0, which comes with everything you need to keep trimmed, cut-free, and smelling nice down there. The Manscaped Perfect Package 3.0 also includes the Crop Preserver, an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. You already put deodorant on your armpits. Why aren't you putting deodorant on the smelliest part of your body, especially Frankie? And yes, your balls do stink.
Speaking of sweaty and stinky balls, I am thankful for their Crop Reviver. This product, along with the Crop Preserver, keeps your balls from sweating, smelling, and sticking. No one likes sticky nuts.
No.
Manscaped threw in 2 free gifts into their Perfect Package: a pair of high-performance Manscaped boxer briefs that'll keep your junk feeling fresh all day, and a travel shed bag to store all your grooming goodies. Trim that junk of yours, get 20% off, and plus free shipping with the code CHAMP at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code CHAMP at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use the code CHAMP. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
Real show, here we go. Real show, here we go. You know that it's gotta be that time, so this is what we chant. What keeps on getting them all amped in advance? Come on. You and I rocking out with Iron Man, F.E. You get the general's point of view on top of Roger's rants. We're never tapping out, we're putting the most minutes in. You already know what that's about, you know that winners win. Crush whatever's on task, check the podcast. It's the Champ and the Tramp, let the bomb blast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Champ and the Tramp. We have a special guest for you today, Kevin Interdonato. Do I have that right?
Yeah, nice job.
Kevin is born and raised right here in Jersey. He's an actor, been on a number of indie films, been on a number of TV shows you might have heard of as well, spent some time in L.A., also served overseas in armed services. And first and foremost, thank you for your service, man.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, thanks for coming on,
Thanks
man.
for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
It was good to have a Jersey boy on a show.
Yeah, felt good. Felt good coming here, knowing it's Jersey too.
Yeah. How far was the ride for you?
Well, my mother lives right around.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
You were
it's like
saying
a
that.
10-minute
Yeah.
drive, So she stuffed me good before he came.
There you go.
That's why your wife's like, "You want some sushi?" I'm like, "I can't. Really. I'm packed." But yeah, they're close.
That ShopRite sushi's pretty good, buddy.
Yeah.
Frankie's hating on it, but I buy it all the time. It's pretty good. You got to get it when it's fresh.
That's what happens when you're a fucking.
You can't go in there at 10
o'clock. Living at home.
You can't go in there at 10 o'clock at night and buy it. But if you get there at like 2 in the afternoon, it's pretty good.
They got that good fake grass and that super pink ginger. And
when you start seeing those discount codes go on it, that's when you want to back away. You know, when it's like half price, back away.
Right.
Kevin, how'd you get into the acting?
Oh man,
Did you want to be as an actor as a young kid?
I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do, but I knew I had something in me that I couldn't find an outlet for. So I just did a bunch of stuff. I was in sports. I wrestled, football, I boxed for a little while, and I went to the Tom's River Boxing Academy too.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about, Fisher?
Yep, absolutely.
Over there. But yeah, I just couldn't find it. I just couldn't find it. So when I was 17, I joined the Army National Guard, and then went to boot camp, came back, went to Brookdale, and I was trying like everything, man. I was taking criminal justice, this and that, and I realized I was taking criminal justice because at the time my favorite movie is Lethal Weapon. I just wanted to be like Mel Gibson. You know?
Hell yeah.
But then I found out what it was really like, and I'm like, that's a lot of paperwork. You know? But I took it on a whim. There was like an agency in North Jersey, which ended up being a scam agency that I went to, and there was acting classes associated with it.
Is that common? I feel like that's pretty common for models and actors, where you like pay a fee and you go. I know a couple kids that did it.
Yeah.
Go to New York, you pay a fee, you try out. They kind of rate you and say, "Oh yeah, no, we loved it." You gotta come back. They talk you into coming back.
Yeah.
And like, then you got to get headshots and you got to pay for those. It's kind of a scam, right?
That's
if you
it,
don't
man.
go to the right place, right?
That's it. And this is before. I mean, we're going back 20 years, so this is before reviews, you know, and people can like, you know, put star ratings to things and or social media. So you just saw it in the, you know, in the like, you know, the Asbury Park Press and, you know, the classifieds, and just went for it. So I took an acting class, even though I got scammed out of the agency part, and I took it and I did this scene, and I was like, this is it. I was like, I think this is it. All this spastic nervous energy I got, that nothing was satisfied and anything else, and I said, this is it.
Yeah.
So I quit college that day. I just didn't go back, and I pursued my studies into
Brookdale, right?
Yeah, I didn't go back to Brookdale, which I liked. I loved Brookdale. It was pretty cool, man. But I went to New York and studied there, and in North Jersey as well, in Maywood. There was an acting class there, and then I just started working.
What was your first acting gig?
My first acting gig was a short film in Montclair State University.
All right.
Yeah, and I was playing a cop in the parking lot. They were doing this small setup, and during one of the takes, some dude started yelling my name from like way off camera, and they're like, cut. And it was some dude I went to high school with. And you know, back then, like going to Howell, I don't know what it was like Tom's River, but to be an actor, there was an acting program.
Day one on the job, you already had groupies.
Yeah, right. But it was just like kind of unheard of, and I was punk from Howell, man, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, I'm acting, like, and it was so weird for a long time to actually be able to say like I'm an actor.
Right, yeah.
But I guess like transition period when you're starting out fighting and stuff, and it's like you just getting the first couple fights, you want to say like I am a fighter, I'm an actor.
Yeah, I remember at the time.
And you feel like weird and insecure.
I'm a professional fighter.
Yeah.
Like, what? I'm like,
At what point did you start saying that?
Yeah.
I mean, because your very first fight was...
it was a pro fight, yeah.
Oh, it was? I thought your first fight
my
was
first fight was an underground fight.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I mean, I did get paid.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I sold tickets. That's why I get paid.
Okay.
But my pro fight was a couple months later.
And then were you literally saying I'm a pro fighter?
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's great. I didn't get paid for a while. Shit. That's just the nature of the beast. You got to earn your stripes there, and free this and that, and I started building my way up.
Yeah,
and that was it.
A lot of people came up that way, though.
Yeah, yeah. Learned the hard way. Yeah. If you don't have any, I didn't even know what an agent was when I started. I didn't know anything. I really didn't know anything. I just knew that I found what satisfied me creatively, and I could just channel all my energy into it, and that was it. So the business came after. Mm-hmm. Would have been nice if I knew someone in the business, made a lot of honest mistakes. You just don't know what direction you're going into sometimes, and it just takes a little bit longer. But, you get beat up and you learn good.
Sometimes it's the best way to learn, right?
Yeah. That's always how
But it's good. It's I always say it's good to learn from your own experiences. It's better to learn from someone else's experiences, though.
Especially their mistakes, right?
Right.
Yeah, you said it. Yeah.
Your newest film, your newest indie film just recently came out, right? Something Frank.
That was... It was a couple years ago.
Oh, was it a couple years ago? Okay.
but it did well. We shot that in Jersey too.
Okay.
Yeah, we shot that in Jersey, and
What's the name of it again?
it's called Bad Frank.
Bad Frank. It reminds me of Frankie's dad, actually. If you met him, you would know why.
He might like it then.
Yeah.
We shot that in Jersey, and that was a rough shoot, man. I pulled my hamstring, tore my labrum, got a concussion.
What, just from doing stunts and everything?
Yeah, dude, low budget stuff. I mean, there's no stunt.
You don't get stunt guys? Yeah.
You just suck it up, take a couple deep breaths, and do it. And then, but I didn't give a shit. It was worth every second of it.
Yeah.
It did well. Movies are funny. Independent film, the odds are stacked against you so far.
Yeah.
So far down the road.
I read a little about that. It's tough.
It's a tough racket. And
I think I think I watched a little bit of a podcast you did where you were talking about budgets for independent films and how like 60% of the budget goes into your like top 3 actors, and then you got to spread the 40% around to production and directing and things like that. And it's you need some bigger names to get the draw, right?
It helps, and at the time of Bad Frank, we got Tom Sizemore.
I saw that, man. Sizemore's a legend, bro. Saving Private Ryan, bro. Come on, man. He's a legend.
It was crazy. We got Tommy, and a friend of mine knew him, so he called him, and then we got Ray Boom Boom Mancini, who's a friend of mine.
Oh yeah, I know Ray.
He's a wonderful guy, right?
Yeah, I mean I know him. Not in passing, but yeah,
he's
nice
great,
guy,
dude.
super nice guy.
And then Brian O'Halloran from Clerks, he jumped in for us. So we did the movie, and we did not get a theatrical release. And the theatrical release is just basically in the movie theaters.
Limited theaters, right?
Yeah, bingo. Yeah. And a limited theatrical release.
Okay, let me stop for a minute,
Yeah.
because I know nothing about this. Who makes that decision?
The distributors.
Okay.
So you're at the mercy of a distributor.
Okay.
A lot of this business equates to like building a house, man. And I equate a lot of it because I did construction my whole life with my dad. So it's very similar. If you're, I'm gonna just break it down, like how it goes.
Give us the inside scoop,
because it's
most
really,
people don't get.
Yeah, it's
like I said, I was listening to that podcast, and I learned some stuff just from listening to you that I would have never known. You know, kind of.
When you make a film, just like if you're gonna build a house for spec to sell, you got to have your end in mind. You can't just make a movie and then, I'm just going to build this house that I want to build because I can see it, and then I'm going to sell it. It doesn't go like that. And that's like 80% of independent film. The studio system's been there a long time because they have a system in place and it works. Mm-hmm. So building a house equates to making an independent film because it's kind of like buying a plot of land and then planning the house you're going to build. So let's just say the plot of land is like your genre. And the house is like, you're going to base, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms on who's in it. So houses sell based on how many beds, how many baths, right? Movies sell when people see, you're on Netflix scrolling through. You're like, oh, I know that dude, or I know that girl. That's the attraction factor. But if you're not in a very specific genre that sells, like drama is the hardest genre to make money on. Thriller, horror, even like family movies, faith-based, things like that, gore.
Do better?
Action, oh my God, to the roof.
Blair Witch Project, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, what was the budget on that? Like $25,000 or something?
Yeah.
And look at the money it raked in.
Yeah.
That's like a fluke, though, right?
Big time fluke. Big time fluke. So when you make a movie, you got to have in mind, just like when you're building a house, you're not going to buy a plot of land to build a house in like the middle of nowhere, and like the streets are all beat up, and and there's flies everywhere. Like, you want to buy a good plot of land. So with a movie, you want to make sure the genre is sellable. Right. If you're gonna do a drama, you got to make sure the people in it have value. Where people are scrolling through and like, oh, I know that, that actor. So it kind of equates like that. You got to know your end before you start. That's the right way to do it. Mm-hmm. I have done it the wrong way, and I learned, and I'll never do that shit again. And that's pretty much, in a nutshell. That's kind of how it goes. So, and then actors lose value. So an example is we got Tom Sizemore, right?
Yeah.
Fucking icon, dude.
Icon.
I mean, I was like,
love that guy.
Couldn't wait to work with this dude, and he banged, man. He was like 50. He lied about his age. He was like 50, 54 at the time, and he was a sweet dude. He was a lot of fun. He came to set, and we were, one scene, we were shooting like 3:00 in the morning during a rainstorm in the mud, and he was rolling around in the mud. He's like, Kev, let's do it, let's get it. I'm like, holy shit, you got it, dude. It was great. When it came time to sell, the distributor picked it up, and, Tom is the sell, and they took him off the cover. And I'm like, fuck. And I put a lot into this movie. Everyone did. And it was like, that was the plan. Like, you have his face on it, right. Blah, blah, blah. And it just so happens that, like, I was living in LA at the time.
What is the, I'm sure you're going to explain it. Why? Why would they take, I mean, they want sales, right? Why would they take him off the cover?
A couple of reasons. One, because he ended up deluding himself. He did too many movies that year. So when distributors, like, you know, when like, say you hear about a movie and you're like, oh, I'm a Netflix guy, and they're like, it's not on Netflix. You're like, fuck. Like, that's not the filmmaker's deal. The distributor picks it up and they throw it out like darts.
Gotcha.
Whatever platform takes it, they take
Right.
it. You have no say.
Right.
So with Tom, unfortunately, and he's a workaholic, so it's kind of admirable to say, like, hey, this studio Hollywood guy is doing these low budget indie films with everyone, and he devalued himself, unfortunately, in the eyes of the buyer, because he did so many that these platforms were like, we already have 7.
Right. Yeah.
Like, we can't take another one. So the distributor took his face off the cover, and we're like, fuck. So it was just me and my fucking hairy chest and holding a hammer and
Because do you get paid like back end sales? Does that affect you how sales go as far as you are you?
Yeah, I mean, that's the money side of it.
Okay.
But
You
know,
also just wanted to be successful, right?
yeah, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, you know, as an actor, I call myself an actor now.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
As an actor, you want to be able to move as many people as possible.
Yeah.
You know, that's the goal. If not, I would just sit home, do a monologue in the fucking mirror. You know what I mean? So, you know, if you're going to put so much time and sweat equity into a project, you're like, I hope people see this.
Yeah.
I hope people are moved by this. I hope people remember it. And that goes with, you know, you just hope the distributor, a good distributor, picks it up and puts it out as many platforms as they can, and all these platforms takes it, and it's great. So Bad Frank got taken by a bunch, which is pretty rare, and then it popped overseas. Foreign, it popped. Germany, France, this one, that one, it did well.
No, they subtitle that?
They do. They subtitle it. They have people talking over, you know, their language and everything, and that was 2017. It got 2017. It got released, and that put me on the map.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So I was working. I mean, the struggle never stops. The hustle. I mean, but that's what just kind of, you know,
Awesome.
upped it up a little bit. Yeah.
So I grew up in a tiny little town in Maine. Nobody ever really came out of that town, you know, that was anybody notable or famous in any way.
Not nobody.
But I went to school. She was younger than me. I think she was a freshman when I was a senior. Her dad was actually like the local town doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And she
Sorry.
They have a horse and buggy.
yeah. This guy thinks you'd never make it in a little town, pal. You'd never make it. You wouldn't make it a day. Yeah. He used to do the cough shit.
Yeah, I bet you.
So he did, literally. But anyway, she that I can recall never had any interest in acting or anything growing up. I mean, again, she was younger than me, but we were friendly.
Yeah.
And then like she graduated. Next thing I knew, she moved to L.A. And then there was talks of like, you know, Katie's doing this and Katie's doing that. And then she did her own independent film. It went to the Indie Fest or whatever. It was called The Puffy Chair. I still remember the name of it.
Oh shit, I know that movie.
Katie Hazelton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew
no
up with her,
way.
man. She went to my high school. We were
Wow.
pretty friendly. She married Mark DeBlas.
Yeah.
You know, he's a big time actor, but now she's been in everything.
That was a big indie.
Yeah.
Good for
yep.
her. That's
She's been
great.
in like she's all over the place now, you know, and obviously I'm sure it helps that she's married to Mark, but yeah, just good people, really good people.
Wow, that's terrific, man.
Yeah.
Love
So,
hearing that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's tough.
She struggled at it for years,
Yeah.
but made it, you know, and now she's been in some big budget stuff. So.
The odds are stacked, man.
Yeah.
Stacked. I mean, no one would ever know this.
There's hope for you, bro.
Yeah. I would crack under pressure. I would be a horrible
Acting's
actor.
hard.
Yeah.
I've done.
This guy acted with a tiger. Ask him about
I
it.
did.
A
I
tiger.
did. It was a commercial for the UFC.
Oh shit.
But I didn't know what I was doing. They sent me the script and looking at it. I get there and it's like a fucking legit like set.
I would've
Whole
ran.
trailers, 100 people there. And then I have like my wife, the other actress.
That went over well with your real
yeah,
wife,
I know,
I'm
yeah.
sure.
And I had some. I was talking to her before. You know, we're about to shoot, and we're bullshitting. And she's like, "Have you ever done this before?" I'm like, "No." She's like, "Oh my god!" She's like, "You have lines?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh my god."
That must have been comforting.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, it's nerve wracking, right?
Yeah.
All the people walking around, then
Yeah.
everything gets quiet. All eyes on you. Yeah.
I did a couple commercials and it was nerve wracking because I have no clue what I'm doing. But I did one for Just Dance 4, which was just dancing. I didn't have to say anything. But then we shot a commercial for what's that fast food joint where you drive?
Sonic.
I did a commercial for Sonic. It literally had like 3 lines. It was so easy, but yeah.
Then I was in Kickboxer 2, I think it was, and
No shit.
I was a commentator in it.
Kickboxer
And,
Sasha Mitchell, was he in it? Was he the lead?
White guy?
Yeah, was
Sasha-
this like recently?
Yeah. With Tyson, all those guys.
Yeah.
They actually filmed it at Marlon's fight. I'm cornering Marlon. He fought. After he fought, there was an intermission, and I had to go throw a suit on.
No way.
And I'm doing the commentary. Me and Henzo.
Wow.
I'm doing the commentary. I had to go in there and I had to interview him in the cage like Joe Rogan.
Right.
And I think it was like I'm hitting the lines. I'm like, hey, what was that move called? And he goes, I don't know. What would you call it? I'm like, bro, that wasn't the fucking line. So I had to ad-lib something. And I think they ended up dubbing my voiceover.
Really?
Yeah, because it wasn't right. Because I mean, it wasn't what it's supposed to be.
Oh man, it's easier when there's heavy subject matter to focus.
Right.
For me, anyway. Some people are just like really personality driven, whatever. And if there's some heavy stuff in front of you, at least you know. It's like gearing up for something, you know what I mean? And everything else just blocks out, and you kind of like.
How do you get in the zone though? Because I mean, I'm sure you're playing like you might be playing a somber role or a ecstatic, happy role. How do you get in that zone?
Can you spell somber?
What?
Go ahead. This guy's an idiot, but go ahead.
Yeah, but you said
Why?
that, and I'm like,
Why?
S.
Did I say it wrong? Did I say it
No.
incorrectly?
It's just a big word for you. I was impressed. Somber.
No, I don't know. I think I tend to play a bit of edgier roles. I don't get the romantic comedy shit, you know. So.
So you have to get there. You have to get in that dark place.
Yeah, but I'm comfortable there.
Yeah.
You know,
I watched, I think, the trailer to one called.
Yeah,
That looked like there was a lot of action in that.
a lot of memories attached.
A lot of fighting in that.
That was man, I shouldn't even say anything, but fuck it.
No. Listen. We need this. We need a viral moment on this podcast. So
So
I'm gonna punch Frankie in the side of the head on one of these just to get some momentum going here.
I'm not even gonna say names because they don't even deserve it. But in a nutshell, that was the first movie I was ever involved with. That movie, I wrote the story for it the first 2 months I was in Baghdad before this shit got crazy, and it was based on my life. So I came back home, knock on wood, and then I brought the story to, at the time, a friend of mine, and he converted it to a screenplay. I would have done a screenplay. I was a little insecure. You know, you get older, you get a little more confident with things, and I was always a writer, but I just didn't think I had it yet. I was 6 or 7 at the time, and he wrote the screenplay, and he ended up copywriting it without telling me, so now he owned it, and I had no idea. And then we went ahead and made the movie. It was crazy. All the money I made in Baghdad, because you get paid like shit when you're a soldier, man. Like you get paid like shit. But this is what I want to do, because I was acting before the war.
I was gonna say, your story is you took acting classes, started out in acting, and then you got, I guess, because you were in the reserves, they sent you overseas, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a break in things, and I had some stuff.
That was
lined
what,
up.
like 2004 or something?
Yeah.
2004.
Yeah, 2004. So I came back, and we shot the movie. Everything changed. Someone in particular just turned into a, you hear about like the ego monsters from hell, like directors and stuff, and that's what happened. And it was not the movie it was supposed to be, and all the producers, including myself, we just pulled our names off of it, like as producers, and no one be associated with it. So it's a bittersweet movie because that was my first one. It was pretty much about my life. The lead character I wrote based on me at the time. Another guy played it, and I played someone loosely based on my best friend in real life. Loosely based, but. And then we were young, so we didn't know the big distributors and this and that. I went with a distributor, and they're good people, but it didn't get out there. Yeah. So it's just one of those things that's like, never again, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Yeah. Never again, not doing that. So learned a lot.
Who's your inspirations for actors who top 5? Top 3. Top 3.
That's tough, dude.
Yeah,
that's tough.
Got to put you on the spot a little bit.
Top 3. Well, the old timers are really my guys. I'd have to say Pacino, Robert Duvall, and who do I always watch? Oh, Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman, yeah.
Yeah.
21.
Robert Duvall. I was just watching Godfather's been on.
Yeah.
1 and 2. I've been checking that. They both Pacino and Duvall.
Yeah, there's something, man. There's so many. That's tough to answer.
Yeah,
because I pull a little from this, little that. And there's some actors of today too. I guess I tend to relate more to guys that are just kind of like real guys, real people. The star thing doesn't do it for me. So I'd rather pick up guys like, I don't even know their names, man. But like, oh God, like Kevin Dunn, Paul Ben Victor, Xander Berkeley. Like these are character actors that you know their face. You know them. They're in so much shit, and they're just awesome at what they do. They're not stars,
Right.
but they work. You know what I mean? And they still have to grind and still have to audition and still do stuff. And and it's like that's the kind of actor that I respect. Because the bigger actors, the stars and stuff. I mean, they earn it. They deserve it. And God willing, the money gets better and things move up and higher. But you are kind of cradled at a certain point. It's kind of out of your power there.
Right.
There's dudes I know that hit big time and then stopped, and they kind of didn't know how they got there, so they couldn't work back up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It wasn't like all in their control. So I do respect people that take control of their career
Sure.
and whatnot. So yeah.
Now you think in acting, like, is it? I mean, obviously you got to be talented, but is it good to know the right people?
Yeah.
too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows you and all that stuff.
Right.
Sometimes that's just time of the game, and you go, you weed through a lot of the fat. And we were talking about LA before. Talk about fat. I mean, my God, it was like you got to meet 20 clowns to meet someone real, and you get
It's the
caught
land
up.
of broken dreams, though, isn't it? Like everybody goes there because they think they're going to make it big, and the success rate is minimal out there.
Yeah, and it's a lonely place, man.
Yeah.
It's a lonely place. So you try to associate with people that you think are on the same level and sorts, at least have the same moral code you do, which is like out the window out there, And you just kind of got to go through it.
Yeah.
And I didn't really have anyone to lead me. I didn't know anyone in the business. I just didn't have any contacts, relationships. So I left Jersey when I was 30 to go over there.
How long would you spend out there?
7 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
In LA.
Yeah. I lived pretty much right on Hollywood Boulevard, my first 2.5 years, and then my now wife.
Been there to visit a bunch. Never got to know anybody because I'm not really in that field. But to visit them, the one thing I've always said is they have the best weather out there. They really do. LA's got the best fucking weather.
Dude, you could barbecue year round.
Yeah.
Like it's, you can't beat it. You don't lose rain days. You don't. It's never too cold. It's like there's no excuse not to be.
It's amazing.
Pretty chipper.
weather.
Yeah. Right.
So it's cool. But yeah, definitely a different beast out there than it is here.
Yeah.
But we had enough. We wanted to raise a family. My wife is doing well. I was doing all right.
Wife's an actor.
She's
Actress.
great. Yeah.
Yeah. What has she been in? What could we see her in?
A bunch. Well, she's on. She was on the first season of City on a Hill on Showtime. She's terrific, man, and she was just outstanding.
You guys met in the industry?
Yeah, we were actually casting a film together back in L.A.
Oh, right on.
So we had like a big cast meeting, and it was like a big jerk off fest. Like that's what it is out there. Everyone thinks they're hot shit, and we're like, "Gonna have a cast meeting." I'm like, okay, so we go, and it was what it was. And unfortunately, my friend was putting it together. Unfortunately, it just didn't go off. But Amanda was there, and everyone just bailed. I was painting houses at the time, and I'm like, I took off of work for the fucking this.
Yeah.
So I'm like, gonna get a coffee. Anyone want one? And she's like, yeah. That was that.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right place, right time.
Yeah.
That's how it happens sometimes.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how that happened. And then we were both doing all right. So the tax credits opened up back in New Jersey, or they're gonna open up back in New Jersey. And in New York, they opened up a couple years prior. So nowadays, you really don't have to be in a certain place. Like I moved to LA because I had to, but tax credits mean like the state gives money back if you're gonna film TV or film in a certain area. So we're like, well, we could film everything. We can go back to Jersey and live like normal people, around normal people, and still be actors.
Oh, she's from here too?
She's from Rhode Island.
Oh, okay, close.
Yeah, but her family's in North Jersey too.
Okay.
So we came back, and then since we came back, things started getting even better for both of us.
Good deal, man.
Yeah.
They do a lot of filming out on the East Coast, though, right?
Yeah, a lot, man, a lot. You film it. You could live. I mean, a filmmaker could live anywhere. A filmmaker could live, on a fucking swampy island in the middle of nowhere and still make a movie. You know what I mean? Anyone can create. It's just a matter of finding out about that and trying to be involved.
Yeah.
Having the right outlets to get to it. So.
Yep. Your manager reached out to me. Your time that you served overseas. She mentioned that you're to deal with your PTSD from over there. Acting has helped you incredibly to deal with that.
Yeah.
Can you talk on that a little bit?
Yeah. Shit. Yeah.
We have a really good friend, Jesse, who's sat on that couch many times, who also deals with PTSD, and it's therapeutic to him to talk about it. He's kind of found his outlet in skydiving. Guy
Wow.
loves to skydive.
He created a
He's,
nonprofit too, where he takes
Really?
Yeah, I'm wearing a shirt.
military to
Oh, no shit.
skydiving experiences and whatnot.
Wow.
So
wow, man.
he's heavy into it, and he saw some legitimate action over there. He's fully disabled. You wouldn't know by looking at him. He's he's in shape
dude,
type of guy, but
Yeah,
he's,
but that
he's
stuff's all in
TBI,
there. Yeah,
right,
TBI, yeah.
right.
Yeah, that's rough.
So
man.
that's kind of his outlet, and you seem to have found yours in acting. So I thought maybe you could expand on that a little bit if it's comfortable for you
yeah,
to talk
man.
about.
No, thanks for even asking.
Yeah.
No, it's all right. When I was over there, we got thrown to the wolves over there, man. We were a National Guard unit that was field artillery. So there was a shortage of military police, and they converted the entire field artillery unit in the state of New Jersey to military police. So we had to go to Fort Dix and train up, get MOSQ'd, which is military occupations specialty qualified, and then we shoot over. So proper train up to be an MP, I don't know exactly, man, and it's been a long time, but it's several months. We were in Fort Dix for 5 weeks, and there was some weapons I didn't shoot yet. There was just it was tough. It was like crazy pressure for everyone. You just met everyone. You're in these small tiny rooms, like a little bigger than this, like 10 guys bunked up, and then you're going like 6.5 days a week, like hardcore, trying to learn Arabic, trying to learn all this stuff. So they sent us to Kuwait City, and then we acclimated for about a week, and then we drove into Baghdad at night. I'll never forget that because they told us like you'd smell it. So we were driving in like
The oil burning.
everything burning. Yeah. When they took Saddam, they took.
What year?
This was we drove in. Oh God, February 2004.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We drove in, and when they took Saddam, everything stopped. There was no sewage. There was sewage because there was no there was no order anymore. Everything was just complete chaos. There was no garbage pickup. There was no flushing. Everything was just like shot. So there was just nothing but mounds and mounds and mounds of garbage burning everywhere. And they used to shut the power off from 12 to 5 in the morning. So when you go into Baghdad at that time, the sky was just orange. It was fucking like Mad Max shit, man. And we just went in. We're all in the back of the cattle trucks, like 180 guys in my company. And then sure enough, man, we smelled it. And it was foul. So the first, I guess, month and a half there we were just doing guard duty. And then little by little, who was getting popped at, and then, you hear shit like, and you're like, what the fuck is that? And you're like, you're getting shot at, dope. Like, get down. You don't know. We're just doing some Jersey, like,
Takes a minute, yeah.
Yeah, and then after a while, it started getting personal, and you didn't go there to do damage, but it's like you have to defend yourself, and then it just, shit just hit the fan, and we lost some dudes, and so many people just got hit over and over and over again, and it was a wild ride. Got a lot there. So when I came back, I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do because I was just a different guy. And then I remember coming home and I just took everything out of my closet, everything, and I just donated it in one of those clothing bins because nothing felt right anymore, like nothing fit right. And I just bought new clothes and all that shit, and I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So to try to find normalcy again, I jumped back in really quick. And I ended up getting a manager because I had good stuff going on before I went to war. Like all these things where I was in the Sopranos for a little bit and I was supposed to come back and, all these things. And I was like, I just got to jump in like that fighter mentality, you know what I mean? You just got to fucking go, And I had a couple auditions and I was just fucked up and I realized it. So I was like, I just can't do this. So I took a year off, got my head right. I remember talking to my dad, and my dad, he's everything to me, and he just he's like, what do the pros do, man, when they're the baseball players and they have a bad year? They just they just go fucking bust out the tee. You know what I mean? Just start hitting off the tee again. So I was like, I don't want to hit off the fucking tee. Like I was like, I was getting somewhere, and he's like, do what you got to do. So I was like, all right. So when I guess things started making me laugh again, or things started making me cry again, because you're just so numb, I just started out bare bones. I started out doing community theater again, like student films again, and just started building up and like kind of finding my way again through that. And that's what happened.
That's a good story, man.
Yeah.
It's like you swallowed your pride and went back to basics,
Yeah, a lot of pride swallowing.
And it worked out for you.
Yeah, it did. So,
But you've done theater and stuff like that?
Not a lot, Frank, but I have done it, yeah.
That has got to be tough, right? I imagine.
It depends. I mean,
Live audience.
yeah, like it's theaters like there's like an electricity to it. It's kind of like the same vibe you do. Like you're lucky if you get a scene in a movie where there's like that electric, feeling, and you do like, 10 takes after
That's
a while.
why, right?
Yeah, the
In
electric
theater,
just kind of goes boom.
You can't fuck up.
Right.
It's it. Boom.
It's
right.
like there, I haven't done enough theater to really call myself a theater actor. I wouldn't. That's like someone that trains in boxing calling themselves a boxer. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
But I would love the opportunity to do it again. Yeah. But there's something about film. It's a different medium.
Yeah.
I do enjoy film. I like being a film and a TV actor, and I'm creating a couple movies now too, and I just really I like it.
Yeah.
So.
And now with all these streaming, programs or apps out there, like there's a lot of content being made, right?
Yeah.
So does that give you guys more opportunity?
Yeah, there's more opportunity, but there's also more shit. And I mean, there's like, from what I've heard, man. I mean, I know a couple distributors personally. There's like 7,000 movies made a year.
Wow.
Well, think about it. I mean, you
there's
have
so-
The majority
you
of
got-
movies made in the United States, they have to be, right?
Majority, no.
No, really.
Bollywood, bro.
Yeah, true. Bollywood. I forgot about Bollywood.
Yeah, they're
yeah.
everywhere, man. But so many factors go into a movie. You could have a really good movie and everything's great, and the sound is horrible.
Yeah.
And because of that one aspect, you'll never hear about it, never see it. There's so many factors. When you do a film, you're an actor in a film, you're literally just like a spoke in the wheel. There's so many things, so many factors. So you do your job. And I started getting really disgruntled when I got to a certain point with doing film because I was giving it. I literally have scars from doing movies. Like I was giving it everything, and I was getting so bent because you give it your all, and no one sees it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like I wanted people to see it, like, oh, look at me. It has nothing to do with that.
You just put your work in. You
Yeah,
want
it's
people to
like
appreciate it,
you want to move people. Like I want to see my old man cracking up, or I want to see someone. Yeah, I do want to see someone cry. I want to see someone move because I was the 8 to 4 guy until I was 30 years old.
Yep.
And I know what it's like to escape with movies. So I'm like, I want to give that back. So I started, learning a lot of the other side after Blue Collar Boys and what not to do. And I spent a lot of time in LA learning that side of things. And because I was in a couple movies that did well, I was able to meet some distribution companies, some distributors that put the movies out.
Yeah.
So now I form relationships with those guys, and they're good distributors. So now when I do a film, if someone, if I have to audition for something or if I get an offer for something, I bring that.
Yeah.
Like that's my book of business to help out. I don't want to just do my job and be like, all right, peace, good luck. It's like I'll do my job, and I'm like, hey man, I could help. I can open these doors and contribute, be a part of the team. And it's like if you don't know any distributors, I do, and I can help get the movie sold. Because it's a team effort, and it's all for the good of the movie at the end of the day.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a documentary out. I forget the name of it. It's about Blockbuster and how Blockbuster kind of shut down all
I
the
saw
mom
it
and
the other
pops. You
night.
see it?
Yeah, the other
Rev
night.
shares. How Rev shares literally because the little town I grew up in had like every neighboring town had like a mom and a pop store that you could go. And it was actually. Do you remember? I don't know what they're called. Not VHS. It was prior to VHS. There were these big discs. I forget what they're called. Betas. Was it betas?
Yeah, I think
you could rent
Betas,
betas. My aunt had a beta, and you could go to Big John's. Was the name of it? You go to Big John's, and then the Nat.
Big John's in Maine?
Big John's. So you could go to all these places, and then Blockbuster hit and fucking crushed them all. Just shut them down because they would do rev sharing.
You see, the last Blockbuster is like they turned it into
it's
an
still
Airbnb.
there,
They turned it into an
yeah,
Airbnb.
yeah. It's crazy.
Nuts.
Is it in New
man.
York? I think, right?
I forget, but I saw it on the thing. There's like one left. Yeah.
How nostalgic though, right? I was watching that doc.
Bro, I loved Blockbuster. I still got my Blockbuster card somewhere,
Dude?
man. I love Blockbuster.
Loved it.
I love going to the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The theater.
Yeah.
I actually I went recently for the first time since the pandemic.
Oh,
So
wow.
they were doing theaters were doing this thing for a while. I didn't know it. Louis apparently did it where because coronavirus obviously shut down theaters. I guess they're back open now, right? But for a while, you would have to rent out the whole theater with your family.
Yeah.
It was a cool concept. Louis did it a couple times with his family.
Yeah.
You have to, social distance, I guess, even with your family, but you got the whole thing. So like 12 of you.
Wait.
And they say you could choose from these movies.
Yeah.
It's like $100. They make money off concessions.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a cool deal.
So you can't sit next to your kids?
Honestly, I may have misspoke. I'm not
you
sure.
drove there together.
I'm not sure. I you know.
That might work out, actually.
I don't think you could go there with 50 family members
No,
and sit,
I
but
get
you know, he went with like 15 people or whatever.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a great idea.
Yeah, rented out the whole theater. So, and it was reasonable. It wasn't even that bad. You know? So,
I went and I saw Nobody.
How was it?
It was. I mean, I loved it.
Was
I
it really?
I thought it was good. It's cheesy. It's cheesy,
Yeah.
but it's a good movie.
Oh,
you know?
cool, man.
Never even heard of it. Who's in it?
Was it Paul Odendork? Odin something like that.
Odendork?
Odin
Was that like a Freudian slip? Odin Dork. I think it's Odin Kirk.
Odin Kirk. Okay, yeah,
Right?
I know. He's a phenomenal actor.
He's awesome. He's in
He
Better
was the
Call
lawyer,
Saul, right?
the lawyer in Breaking Bad and Better
yeah.
Call Saul. Yeah.
He went through hell to get ready for that.
Yeah.
I saw a behind the scenes thing, and he's not a physical guy.
No, not at all. That's why it's great because I mean he's like John Wick. He's essentially John Wick, but he's like this frumpy old guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I got to see it now, man. See that? How pumped you got for that?
Yeah.
Right.
That's the goal, man.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't get better than that. And at least you know you're a part of something that does that to someone.
You know like a favorite childhood movie? Stand By Me, man, is probably mine. I love that movie so much.
You can't beat Stand By Me.
Yeah.
That was one of the best movies to date.
Yeah.
Stephen King book.
I feel like 80s movies are just better, man. Breakfast Club, you
Yeah.
know, they're
Classic.
80s,
I don't
early
know.
90s.
I
I don't know. You don't think so? You don't
No,
think
there's
so?
some classics. I feel like, listen, back in the day. I mean, you're an actor, so back in the day.
The
I mean,
Shining.
there wasn't many opportunities for movies, so it had to be a good fucking movie
Yeah.
to make it to the
I
scenes.
suppose
you know
there's
what I
some
mean?
truth to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now there's so much content out there. It's like almost you put
That's
them out
the
there,
thing.
there's gonna be a place for it.
And you said that that's the word the industry calls. They call it content, and that's what sucks. It's like, what about film? What about movies? You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and indie film, because of I think it was like my first movie, like feature film, that was in 2000 or 2001. Shot at Freehold, and that's when DV cams came out. These little things, so they were so cheap. Everyone just started making movies like crazy, and that started like the rise of the independent film. It's been around for ages. Warren Beatty used to do it. Clint Eastwood. Those were all indies. Those guys made those old spaghetti westerns and this
Oh,
and that.
really?
Oh yeah,
Wow.
yeah. They were legit indie filmmakers. John Cassavetes at that time, but they had money. They were known already. Someone like, we could literally sit around in our basement. Everybody pulls out their checkbook, throws a couple thousand out. Who's got a phone? Who knows someone that does sound? Who knows someone that plays guitar so they can do the score? Let's get our boys to be actors, this and that. Anyone can make a movie.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people like that doing it. So yeah, there's so much content. It just gets flooded.
Right.
Those movies,
But
those
they're
are movies,
like I
man.
said before, once in a while there'll be a low budget just breakout
Yeah.
film. It happens. Blair
Yeah.
Witch Project was a perfect example of
Yeah.
it. I mean, that movie just took off, and it was good. It was actually good. The ending was a little whack.
What
but
about? I haven't seen it. It won
good.
like Film of the Year last year. Korean movie, Parasite. Wasn't that like a supposedly a low budget type of movie?
I didn't
Yeah.
hear about that.
Yeah.
Human Centipede was pretty good though.
Oh God, you saw that, dude?
What's that?
Oh, you've never seen it?
Jesus,
Oh,
man.
bro, it actually. I think there's like 4 of them out now. I think they made it into a whole series, but the original one, it's about 2 girls that they're on vacation. I think they're traveling Europe. They like rent a car. They get lost, of course, how every movie premise starts. They're traveling through the woods. They get lost. They come across this house, middle of a rainstorm, lightning, everything. And I think they knock on the door for help, or the car breaks down, whatever, the standard premise. And this guy, this weirdo wacko, and he's a doctor and lives there in this big mansion by himself or whatever. Well, next thing you know, I think there's a guy in there too, right? Doesn't he have a guy in the basement too?
Yeah.
Next thing you know, they're all sewn together. Their mouths are sewn to each other's assholes. It's called the Human Centipede.
What the fuck?
You would love to be in that.
You
Was it-
into,
did you
bro?
try out for that movie?
Jeez.
Dude,
Probably
that
you-
movie's
Bro,
so
it
nasty.
took
I wouldn't
off.
even want to describe
It
it.
took off.
Yeah, it blew
It took
up.
off?
It
Yeah.
took, bro. It's huge.
Horror.
It
dude.
is huge. Yeah.
You can do
Yeah.
anything with horror, and it just goes.
2 girls, 1 cup. That fucking
Yeah.
took off too, bro.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I was-
wild, man.
I was guilty of watching that. I thought it was fake. I was like, "There's no way that's real." But I'm
Dude,
pretty sure
when
it's
was
real.
that?
Oh,
That was like 2005.
I think it was.
Oh,
I think it was even before
God.
that. You think 2005?
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
Yeah.
Was that considered viral? Like one of
Yeah,
the
I
first-
guess.
Yeah, that was
right,
probably
right.
viral before viral was viral. Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
back when we had dial-up.
I think if I remember right, that was like you couldn't even just send it as a direct video. It had to be like a link to like the dark web, and then
Yeah.
you click on it and you watch it there. I think it was
Yeah.
that long ago. Yeah.
Oh God,
Yeah.
it's so funny, man. Jesus.
No, that wasn't funny. That was terrifying.
Yeah,
That was terrifying.
Two girls, one couple, should be so bad.
I feel like that because it was so old has almost become like normal size now. You know what I mean? There's so much
Some
nasty
crazy
shit out there.
yeah.
I remember, I don't even want to talk about it, but some of the worst shit I ever saw. Not that's just disgusting, but worst shit I ever saw was people would send you links to watch like the beheadings of people overseas.
Oh,
I couldn't watch it, man. I couldn't because they're literally just the sounds they're. I couldn't watch it.
They're all grainy, and
Oh.
you're
I'm
looking.
not
and
into that. Not into that.
I'm not into it either. But people that shit went viral. People watch it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dude, when I was over there, man, I forget so much, but when I was there, something happened. American soldiers in one area of Iraq did some pretty foul shit. Oh wait, it was Guantanamo Bay.
Oh right, yeah,
That was happening when I was over there.
yeah. They were
And I
tying
remember-
up prisoners.
Yeah, and that got
making
released.
fun of them.
And that
yeah.
got released to the
They
Iraqi
prosecuted.
people.
They prosecuted every single one of those,
Oh,
and
man.
rightly so. You know,
Well,
rightly
we
so.
felt it. We felt
Yeah.
the impact of that. Those guys, they
And girls. It was girls doing it too.
Yeah. We felt that, man. That was no joke.
Yeah.
They just went ape shit.
Yeah, they didn't like that.
Ape
I'm sure.
shit. No, I mean we were rolling through. So we were in Sadr City. I don't know if you're familiar with Sadr City. Used to be called Saddam City. Sadr City was like the ghetto of Baghdad, and they put there was 8 MP companies in Baghdad at the time I was there, and we were the only National Guard company. So it was all males. Military police was females as well. So we went there pretty much undertrained compared to normal military police and whatnot, and they threw us in Sadr City. You know, and it was just like, bunch of guys from Jersey, man, all ages, landscapers.
When you say threw you in, I mean, are you protecting your base or what is your?
Sorry, I'm fast forwarding a lot.
Yeah.
So the original, I guess you want to say, duty mission was to protect and mentor the Iraqi police. I believe that's what it was. That changed because we were going to Iraqi police stations to do that, and then right before we got there, we learned that I think it was like 75% of the Iraqi police force was disbanded and fired, and they were just taking on new police. The guys that got fired, the Iraqi police, they were all corrupt. They were all kidnappings and shit out there. It was crazy, all bribery stuff. They turned around and joined the Iraqi army.
Yeah.
So we joined. We went out there to, like, you know, try to train them and teach them things and this and that. I didn't speak fucking Arabic. You know what I mean? And it was crazy, man. And then
you guys had a translator, but I'm sure that's got to be extremely difficult. You got a bunch of MPs and a bunch of Iraq police.
Yeah.
And you got probably one translator, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that doesn't make for great communication.
yeah, it was nuts. And the translators are actually wonderful dudes, man.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I mean, people are people, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there were some wonderful Iraqi people out there, man. And then, you know, once we were at the Iraqi police stations, then all of a sudden they started getting attacked. They never got attacked before we were there. It was just when we showed up, they did. So it was just like almost like creating your own problem in a way. It was odd, and we got a lot of stuff, man. It was pretty fucking heavy. So yeah, it was pretty wild how things kind of came full circle with that.
Right.
It was weird.
Where'd you go to basic?
Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Okay, that's where my sister went. Yeah.
You're kidding?
Yeah, my
Yeah.
sister went through the reserves. Yeah,
Small world.
My dad was actually stationed at Fort Dix.
Really?
Yeah. He ended up going. He thought he was going to Nam, but he went to North Korea.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
North Korea.
Yeah.
That was loaded. Second.
South Korea.
Oh, South Korea.
Wait, no, North Korea.
No, we didn't go to North Korea.
No, he was in the DMZ. Yeah, you're right, South Korea, but he was in the DMZ, right between the two. All right, fuck face. He was probably closer to North Korea than he was South Korea.
Oh man. Yeah, so that was that, man. That was that.
I gotcha.
Crazy.
Now, do you think you find yourself maybe gravitating toward military roles?
No.
Not at all.
Nah. I mean, it's one of those things I could fall into because I understand it.
Right.
You know, the more you understand the role, the life around it and everything, the better, you know. And some people have to take a lot of time to kind of do that. So I can fall into it pretty easily. But if a military role comes my way, it comes my way. And then, you know, I'll do it. But it also depends on certain things. So depends. It's got to be done right. Like I was saying, like you put, you know, if I get a partner film, I feel like I've been saving it too. If I get a partner film that has to do with war, that has to do with some kind of combat, I'll tell you right now, I'm not doing a movie that has a budget of $100,000. It's not going to happen because I know what it would take financially, being on the other side of the camera too, what it would take to pull that off visually,
Right.
and there's no way. So I know I would just give everything, and it just wouldn't be what it's supposed to look like
Right.
for a viewing audience, and I just wouldn't be able to do that, even if I had to get some stuff out. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you're just gonna kind of be careful.
They could do a lot with CGI in today's day and age, but I still feel like it never looks authentic. You know, I feel like it still looks a little off. You know?
Yeah, it's true.
So.
But it's fun. Indie films come a long way, man. There's some talented dudes out there, talented guys that could do so much editing. And my one editor friend, he's edited a couple films of mine. He's gonna do another one. He taught himself how to edit on YouTube from scratch.
Wow.
He's like this sick editor, man. I'm like, my God, I could never.
You can teach yourself anything on YouTube now.
You really
Yeah.
can. Yeah, you really can.
If you want to put the time and effort in, I guess.
Taught myself how to be a fighter. I got a couple calls into Dana White, but nothing yet. So I don't know.
Yeah, man.
So what projects are you working on now? Anything you can share with us?
Yeah, man. Well, my wife is on City on the Hill,
Mm-hmm.
and then
That's killing at that show too right now, right?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's a good feeling, man. When you're on something that's good, you know. So, actually, you know, fellas, I was thinking about this because I went through something 2 years ago, and I was like, I didn't go public about it because I was kind of, I don't know, I was kind of nervous, but I might as well just spill the fucking beans. My wife got on City on a Hill when we moved back to Jersey. Before that, when we moved back, I got diagnosed with cancer.
Oh shit!
And that came out of nowhere. I guess, as you know, it would with anybody. But I was in a lot of pain in my leg. I was working out a lot in LA. Had the same pain for like 2 years. I thought nothing of it. We never went to the doctor, you know, yada yada. I come back here, it got worse and worse. I said, fuck it, I'll go to the doctor. And I ended up having non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in the bone marrow of my femur bone.
Wow.
And the pain was, the shit was actually eating through my bone, right? I had no clue. I was just popping Advil, like whatever. It was just, you know, I got told it was runner's knee by a doctor like 3 times. I kept going back until they did blood work, and that was that. So I got the phone call that I got cancer, and I'm like, no, I don't. Like, again, I don't have cancer. What are you talking about? I'm like, yeah, you do. And cancer's a trip because you can't feel cancer.
Right.
You got a sore throat. You got the flu. You can feel it. I was like, oh, fuck, I got the flu. Someone else tells you have cancer. You're like,
No, I don't.
my leg hurts. How do I have cancer,
right,
dick?
right.
You know what I mean? Like, you almost like reject it. So I had to go through the process of that because it was classified as stage 4. It was that far along.
Wow.
So I had to go through some heavy chemo and in Hackensack Meridian up in Rutherford there, and then and I was going through that, and then when I came out of chemo, I finished up, and that stuff just, I was in good shape when I had cancer. Chemo fucked me up.
Yeah.
You know?
I hear that from
Yeah,
all of them,
it was heavy. I didn't go in once every 3 weeks. I was in a hospital for like 5 days at a pop, and I got like the port put in, they pumped me full of stuff and all that shit. So fast forward, my wife got on the show, and I was out of, my chemo treatments and everything was gone, you know? And that threw a wrench in things too, because I had things lined up again, you know what I mean? I was like, oh God, you're fucking kidding me. And I came back, and I was like, I gotta jump back in the saddle. So I ended up auditioning randomly for City on a Hill, and for a part that I didn't get, but they were nice enough to put me in through that first season, little bit parts, you know, a line here, yada yada. And I remember I was so embarrassed, man, because talk about like humbling experiences, dude. My hair was still growing in, so I had like patches, like of bald spots on my head. So I was like putting makeup on my bald head. Oh my God. Putting makeup on my head before going to set in the morning.
Wow.
And I was like, what am I doing, man? But, you know, you just got to keep going. And
What is the alternative, though? You know, to
Right?
sit home, right? I would think it would be worse. You seem
Yeah.
like an extremely motivated guy.
Yeah.
A guy like you sitting home feeling bad for himself, I would think that would just be more.
it's not an option.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
view it as an option.
Not
you
an
know?
option.
So, yeah, kudos to you, man,
Oh,
for manning up and doing
Thanks. And
that.
that
So
happened. And then,
you're in remission now? Or
yeah, I've been. Yeah, you got to get your treatments or your checkups and everything. I've been in remission. And then, like, I don't know how many months, 7, 8 months ago. I'm sorry, before COVID started, my manager got a call and they said, "What's Kevin's availability?" This is the City on the Hill called for this month to that month. And I was like, "I'm free, man." And they actually wrote me in for the second season.
Oh, right on.
So my wife and I are both in the same show right now.
Get out of here.
Season 2,
That's
and they
great.
wrote me in.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
which was like, wow, thanks, man. You know what I mean? It was cool. It was really, really cool, man.
And you filmed second season yet?
Yeah, we're done.
Oh, you're done.
Yeah. They just did the second episode out of 8. It airs on a Sunday night.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So things come full circle, man. It's just the acting business is tough. Just like anything else, everyone's got their own, trials and tribulations. I remember I thought life was hard as fuck when I was just swinging a hammer for a living. Everyone's got their own shit. But giving up is not an option at all, especially when you just put your back to the wall and you're like, this is it. I got no plan B and like, I got nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
So
the power of a positive mindset.
Yeah.
And there's even studies behind that. Like that's a real thing,
absolutely.
Dude, it got me through chemo.
Yeah.
When I was in chemo, man, they thought nurses were yelling at me and shit. I was doing like headstand push-ups and stuff. I had these things plugged into me. They were popping out.
So you had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma,
Yeah.
which is blood cancer, correct?
Yeah.
That's all bone.
Correct.
Okay.
That's what scared me. I thought it was bone.
Bone is
Wasn't.
that's my uncle. Actually, my uncle, I feel like his whole life he battled cancer. He had throat cancer. I remember he had the little incision where they operated.
Yeah.
That was like when I was a teenager, and then he got prostate cancer, beat that, and then he got bone cancer.
Fucking sad.
And he lived a long life. He was probably early mid 70s. I'm guessing, but early 70s. Something like that. I mean, too young to pass, but beat throat, beat prostate, and then got bone cancer. And they say when you get bone cancer, that's a tough one to beat.
That's the one. You know what burns my ass with that shit, man? When I was in the hospital, there was if you could picture this, it wasn't like you had your own room.
Mm-hmm.
You're in there with people, and I was on the younger side. There was other people that were younger too, but it was like 2 floors of cancer patients. And you're in there, and I'm like, I got fucking like I'm halfway through chemo. I got no hair, no eyebrows. All this shit coming out of me, making noises, waking up. Like, what am I fucking doing here? You know what I mean? And I wrote another movie while I was there in the hospital. And I had all these dry erase boards on the wall in my room. I never wore a hospital gown one day. I absolutely fucking refused. I would not do it. And there was people on the floor passing away. And I wasn't expecting that because I was so far removed from what was happening. I remember I was walking around I used to do laps with the I don't know what they're called.
Yeah, the little
IV stand.
Yes,
stand,
I used to
yeah.
do laps all day long just to try to get my blood flowing, like I can heal, And I'm walking around, everyone's like, "You're supposed to like relax," and I'm like, "Fuck you, I'm not relaxing," And I remember seeing like a priest. I feel so stupid saying it. A priest came in, and I'm not really a very religious guy, but I'm respectful. And he comes in, and he was going into my room, and I'm walking by with the IV stand. I'm like, "Hey, what's up, Father? How's it going?" "Okay," he said. "Okay." And I said, "Okay." And I'm walking around. And that was weird. He said it kind of odd. And I'm walking around. And I'm like, all right, my laps are done. I go back in my room, and he was reading last rites to the guy that was in the bed next to me. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I realized where I am. That's when it hit me, like, this is where I am.
Yeah.
People are passing away, and like all this stuff. And I had to stay as far removed as possible from that.
Yeah, well, you're trying to recover. You don't want to be thinking of that.
Yeah,
Well, that's what
like-
it was.
I feel like you can't have that acceptance.
No.
Otherwise it can have profound effects on you.
I couldn't succumb to it. I just couldn't. And look, people say this, and I'll tell you, I've said this too. Just before I've ever had to go through that shit, I've said the words, so and so lost the battle of cancer, or so and so won the fight, or beat cancer. That's hard to say now because there's guys, there's men and women that were on that ward, that floor with me, who fought harder than I did, and they fought. Like, I was in pain, I got through it. Everyone's in pain. You get through it, you go through it, and everyone fought. No one doesn't fight. But if someone passes away, they lost,
Right.
and that fucking burns my ass. Like,
I believe Stuart
doesn't
Scott.
sit well.
Stuart
That's a
Scott.
good-
You know Stuart Scott?
No, I don't.
He is the ESPN analyst. Black guy, has one eye, different color.
Yeah.
But he had cancer, and he said kind of the same thing.
Oh,
He's
really?
like, you don't lose. Like, everybody,
No.
you
I never
don't
thought
lose,
about it that
you don't
way.
lose the cancer. He's like,
Yeah.
no one loses the cancer.
Either
you know?
it's your time or it's not.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. You could do everything you can do.
Yeah.
And if it's too far along or this or that, yada yada. And I tried to actually do it holistically. You know, no one wants that stuff pumped in you. You know, and I went to a holistic doctor who used to study Western medicine, and she was like,
Really?
"So you get too far along, you gotta go." I was like, "Fuck, all
The
right."
key is catching it early.
Yeah.
Well, that's good that someone like that would say that, because some of those holistic people would be like, take the fucking
Yeah, here, smell this seed.
Smell
some
some
seed.
yeah,
Right,
yeah, yeah.
thanks.
Put this
Go
piece of
sun
garlic in your ear.
go sun gaze a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sun your asshole.
But I know people that have passed. My poor uncle, a couple months ago, he's got real ill, and then recently he passed, and he had it, and it was like, for me to actually sit here, I would never say those words again. Like, someone you know lost the battle.
Good way to put it. Never thought of that. I'll think
They
about
didn't
that.
lose.
now,
Everybody
yeah.
fights. It's an unfortunate fucking thing, and
For sure.
and it almost just lit my fire even more.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm like, I didn't win, I didn't lose. It wasn't my time. I didn't get my card pulled overseas. I didn't get my card pulled with this. So I know I got to keep rocking and rolling and doing my thing. You know.
Children with cancer. I mean, that is the hardest thing to see. That is just, if you you said you're not super religious. I would probably put myself sort of in that category. But if there was ever a time where you question your faith, is when you see that. You know, it's like, how can there be a God above, and that happened to that little child? You know.
Right.
I had a personal experience. She wasn't a young child. Was 17 years old. Caitlin McGill, rest in peace, Caitlin McGill. Love you. Came to Jersey. Was a big fan of Jersey Shore. Had her aunt reach out to my sister. Actually, I don't know how they got in contact. My sister asked me if I would meet her. So Jesse and I actually met her at Ralph's Italian Ice, and she was just the half an hour, 45 minutes we spent with her, like, just the most genuine human being you'll ever meet. And then she went back to North Carolina, where she's from. Was supposed to come back here, and got some bad news from her doctor when she was down here, and she wasn't going to be well enough to make the trip. So we actually went down to see her, and I have no regrets about doing that. That just, I feel like, spiritually grew me a little bit. You know what I mean? Man. So yeah, it was. She passed shortly thereafter, but I still have a picture of her in my bedroom. It's I have my kid's picture frame, and I've got a little wallet-sized picture of her. It just makes me remember, stay humble, stay humble. You're not guaranteed any time on this earth, but just a spectacular human being.
Well, it's wonderful of you to go down there and do that with her, man. That was cool.
Yeah, I wasn't looking for any props. She helped me far more than I ever helped her, you know what I mean? Yeah. So just putting things in perspective. So
yeah. It can go, man. It can go like that.
Yeah.
You know?
But I think I've used that terminology before. Caitlin lost her battle with cancer, and I'll never say it like that again, because she fought hard. And
I apologize if that came off.
No,
like,
no. It was makes me think. Something good to think about. So
yeah, especially a fighter like that, man. You know what I mean?
And she did, man. Fought hard and never. The thing that I remember about her is never complained. Yeah. I would talk to her mom a lot, and some you knew she was in pain. Yeah. And she just never complained, ever. Was always smiling, and man. So.
Yeah, man, it's something. It makes you think about. I've been thinking about looking into a charity more of some sorts. Right. I feel like my time is so much spent on pursuing my own goals. I'm kind of obsessed, like a healthy obsession with certain things, and it's like, man, it's almost kind of selfish. Like there are charities out there that I should be jumping into to give back and help a little bit more. You know what I mean? I should. So
I think we're all selfish to some degree. I mean, you get lost in your own life because, let's be honest, it's hard enough getting through life itself, right? It's a battle for everybody.
Yeah, I mean,
but
your own kids and everything.
We could all do more. You have to find the time,
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's true.
All of us should. I find myself scrolling through my DMs, and I feel like
wait for what?
Well, let me finish. I'm usually looking for nudes, but I get a lot of stories in there. People want me to shout out their GoFundMe page or whatever, and I always try to pick one once in a while, and usually it has to do with a child, because obviously that's most of our soft spots. Yeah. But I could never post them all, because that would just inundate my page, and I feel like my page would become such a sad place to visit. Nobody would want to go to it. So I post one once in a while and try to help out and pay it forward, a little bit if I can, shine a light on somebody that needs help, So I think we all could do that, especially if you've been given a platform, which I've been blessed to have a lot of followers for no special reason at all, So if I can shine a light on a cause, especially a child's cause, or a child that's struggling with some affliction or disease, I try to do it once in a while,
It's an admirable thing, man. It is.
I've been helping this guy out for the past
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
That's all the charity I need.
Frankie posted you on his page, and he's like, yes.
Do you feel better about yourself when you do that?
I do.
You
A lot
Okay.
better,
All
yeah.
right, all right. As long as you feel better, you know.
Help my friend Roger.
So then I'm kind of helping you.
I'm gonna
Then
start a GoFundMe.
I'm kind of helping you. You keep the money, you prick.
Yeah, right.
Oh man, crazy.
Oh shit, Kev. What else, man? What else you got? I guess you shouted out what you got coming up. Oh, where can our listeners find you? What's your Instagram?
At the Kevin Intro on Instagram. Yeah.
Right on any other social media platforms?
No, I just kind of stay with that.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Just kind of keep it there, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I bounced around a little bit. I used to be on Twitter back in the day. I used to be on MySpace when MySpace, but I really only have the time for one now. So I'm just doing Instagram. I think I still got a Twitter floating around out there, but I just don't have time for it. I can barely manage my Instagram. So
Yeah, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. You realize after a while, you're on it, and with my business, man, and I don't know how it is with you, Frank, and even you, man. It's like it's kind of pushed on you to an extent as well, and it's like. I like my privacy a little bit. Like, I'll post what I want. I got pictures of my kid on there.
Right.
I think she's much more interesting than I am. You know what I mean? And it's like, whatever. And, you know, but I did take my time back,
Right.
maybe like a year ago. And I felt a shift in my life when I took that time back to myself, you know? It's crazy. It just sucks you in. It's like, you can't fucking help.
It really does.
No one's Superman, you know? You find yourself on it, and you're like, oh, what am I fucking... There goes 20 minutes.
Yeah, you got to make a conscious effort.
Yeah.
I do, at least.
and there's like a new one coming out every other month. You know,
Yeah.
there's TikTok now. I got a little obsessed with that for like a couple months when it first came out. Now I don't even.
I was banging out the videos.
Yeah, I
Were you
was.
doing the
I was.
dances?
I was.
The dances.
I was,
Yeah.
man. You liked them all.
I like them. It's because I'm fucking. That's my charity. You know what I mean?
So yeah, but I don't mess with TikTok anymore. I still have the account, but yeah, I just deal with one.
This
Instagram.
guy sends me a TikTok every day.
I look at it. Hey. I look at it. I don't post anymore.
All right.
No, man. Crazy.
I get my political information from TikTok
Yeah,
now.
that's so scary.
Dude, how many were you guys we don't have to go there at all. I never went there yet, and I don't plan on it, but were you guys in a lot of conversations, whether it's friends or family, about, like, you know, when the election was going on, it was coming down to the wire,
Yeah, man.
and it was like some uncomfortable shit too, where it's like, I don't want to talk about this right now. Like,
Yeah.
I think that was like a major
I think
part.
it's tough. It's very tough to not talk about it because it has such a profound effect on everybody's life.
Yeah.
And obviously,
Well,
we're
this year more than most.
we're in a
Yeah,
very
yeah.
divisive time where if you feel one way, you don't generally have a lot of love for the other side. But I feel like you have to stand your ground. You have to talk about it a little bit. You know, it doesn't mean you can't be open-minded. We've had a
Sure.
lot of people on the couch that feel that I can only speak for myself, but differ from me politically. And I sit here and I listen because I feel like I can learn. But, you know, and I always take something away. But I think, you know, when you have your convictions and you're convicted in something and, you know, if you're a hardcore believer in the Constitution, it's hard to be swayed. It doesn't mean you can't learn. Doesn't mean you can't take something away from it. But, yeah, I think that we all have a right as Americans to speak on it. And we certainly have a lot of podcasts. I feel like for a brief period of time, I kind of took over the podcast right around the election time, and you know, and I think people got a little sick of it, so we've kind of veered away from it a little bit. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, we've survived 54 presidents. We'll survive another one. You know, so
I hear you, man.
45. You know,
sorry,
that's all right.
45. South Korea, North Korea,
Oh,
or
yeah.
whatever. You know, close enough.
I
I round up, Frank.
I hear exactly what you're saying, man. And it's one thing. You know, you can have your convictions, feel strongly about certain things, the Constitution, or what you believe in strongly. And then when you're having a conversation with certain people that don't listen,
Right.
and it's just like that, bah,
Instant
you know?
hatred, yeah.
It's like, dude, I just don't even talk about it or
There's
with
no-
you.
There's no.
You know,
Can't get anywhere with people
Yeah,
like
my
that.
wife and I had a great conversation one time, and I actually remember this one with another couple, and I wouldn't say opposing sides, but opposing views, right? And it was like the best conversation in the world because they were just like easygoing, open people.
I love those conversations.
Yeah, and I was like, that was fucking wonderful.
Right.
You know, and then you go to Facebook or whatever, and it's like, rah, 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 this and that. Like,
Just
oh,
hatred.
God.
Just
Polar
hatred.
opposites.
Hatred.
Bullshit, man.
Yeah.
Got out of it. It's crazy. So,
Yeah, I don't really post much politically, neither did you, but you know, we've certainly talked about it down here in the podcast room because I feel like it's almost your duty as American to at least weigh in on it. You know what I mean?
sure, man.
Especially it's. I mean, my kids. I got a 12, 10, and they know about
They know what's
politics
going
now.
on, yeah.
It's crazy. I didn't. I was a political science major in college, and I didn't know politics. I know more politics now than I ever did. You know,
Yeah.
it's just wild.
Yeah. Kids got access to everything.
Yeah.
My daughter's about 15 months.
Oh, okay. You got some time.
Yeah. I
But
might
I'm
call
sure
you guys like, yo, Frank.
You just have one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just had one. Yeah.
Yeah, you're creeping up 15 months. You're getting to the age where things start happening. And then, every day you come home and it's like they were crawling and then they're walking. And then, 15 months is interesting. Before that, they pretty much just pee, poop, burp, and fart. And, they don't do a lot. But not that that's not an amazing age, too. It's all interesting. It's all fun. But when they start interacting and start crawling and then they're walking and then things get cool, so.
Wild, man. We're looking forward to it. She's going to start moving around a lot, and she already is. And my wife's going to have things lined up this year. I got some stuff lined up, and we're thinking about already, like, all right, how are we going to do this?
Yeah.
Like, I never thought about that before. Usually a job came in, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm going to London. You know what I mean? Now it's like, all right, how are we going to do this with this and pack this? And it's like, what the fuck, man?
Just leaving the house.
Yeah.
You can't. I used to be able to leave, just leave and go. Now you're like, where's the bottle? Where's the diapers? Where's the...
I'm like, is this real? Is this how it is?
I remember when I was single, no kids, and I thought my life was complicated. And then, you have kids, and you're like,
That's what I tell everybody.
You had shit so easy back then. And you thought, it's almost like because you had so little going on, you had to complicate it. And now it's like,
but does, like, I always tell everybody, in high school, I used to be like, oh my God, it's just so stressful. Life's so stressful. Then you get to college, like, holy shit, high school was so easy. Then you get to real job. Then you get married. Then you have kids. It's like, dude, does it ever stop?
Right.
But you handle more, right?
Yeah. You find a way to
you find a way to
adjust,
handle more.
adapt, everything.
Yeah, it's nuts.
And you wouldn't want it any other way. I wouldn't want to change my life. I mean, I get stressed out and stuff, but I wouldn't change it,
Yep.
Kids were the best thing that ever happened to me personally, so,
How old are your kids?
My youngest will be 5 in May, so about a month, and my oldest will be 7 in July. So yeah.
Wild, man.
Yep.
That's cool.
My 7-year-old is she gives you a run for your money. She's a little independent, a little sassy, but she's either gonna be like the CEO of a Fortune 500 company or she's gonna run her cell block in prison. One of the two. You know what I mean? So yeah. My daughter and Frankie's daughter are pretty good friends.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
Cool.
They're ride or dies.
Oh, that's great, man.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Trying to get my son into wrestling with his kids. My son's a lot younger, but no better pedigree than to wrestle with the Eggers. You know what I mean? They're gonna come up fast. So
yeah. God, what a trainer there, man. Yeah. Jeez, do you have singlets on your kids already, or?
Oh yeah, my two boys wrestle, 12 and 10. So my 10-year-old, he's really into it. My 12-year-old's kind of in and out. My 10-year-old wants to fight.
You gotta give your 12-year-old a shout out. He just won a match the other day. Looked good.
He won a couple matches.
Good,
he's doing all right. But he's like, he's half in, half out.
Yeah.
I don't push him. You got to want to do wrestling. You know how it is.
Sure.
Wrestling's a tough enough sport to not want to do it. But my middle guy, he's all in. He wants to fight. He tells me. I'm like,
a savage.
Wow.
He's a savage.
Yeah.
And he's been that way his whole life. I remember when he was a baby going to Frankie's old house when this kid was maybe a year old, and he fucking climbed everything. Like you take your eyes off him, he'd be on top of the TV. And he'd climb the bookshelf, and then he'd be hanging off the upstairs banisters. Like the kid's always been a little fucking nutty.
Yeah.
It's got that competitive nature already, right?
Yeah,
like
he
that
does.
innate
He does.
nature.
He likes to scrap. He's not scared to compete. So
that's great.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. He's young though, so you got a lot of time to develop.
Yeah. Wow, that's wild, man. Jeez, do you have a daughter, right?
My oldest, the 7-year-old. Well, the 6-year-old should be 7 in July, but yeah.
And I got a 6-year-old daughter.
She's into cheer now. That's her thing. She would start out in gymnastics and then wanted to transition over to cheer, which is more of a team sport. And now we're I didn't realize. I mean, cheer is like a rich man sport. You got to travel all over. COVID kind of killed it a little bit, but they didn't do nationals this year in Florida. Usually that's a huge meet down there in Florida.
Yeah.
But we did AC, Atlantic City, a couple weekends ago, and then there was one in Trenton. And there's, you travel a lot. It's not a cheap sport at all. So, Mom, keep doing those Jersey Shore shows. Yeah. I'll be in coach. You guys fly down first class, but
crazy.
Man. Yeah, but she likes it. She loves it. She needs that direction too. My daughter. I can't yell at her. Frankie's the same way. Neither one of us can yell at our daughters, but. When I see a coach being like, "Monty, you got to," I'm like, "That's what she needs. Keep doing that. Keep doing that." So
crazy, man. Crazy. Well, best of luck to you.
Yeah, man. Same to you, man.
You guys. I really appreciate you having me here. Thank
Yeah,
you.
no,
Yeah,
this was
brother.
great, man. Good to have you. Good to get your perspective in the acting world and stuff.
Yeah.
Good old Jersey boy, you know.
That's it. That's it, man.
Kevin
Yeah,
Interdonato. Did I get it right?
you got it right.
Check him out, guys. Check him out. Check him out on his Instagram. IMDb him. Check out some of his movies. That's a cool thing now. You can literally punch an actor's name into IMDb and you can just check out whatever they've been in. I did that with you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's cool.
It's all there, man.
Very cool. All right, champ.
Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate it, brother.
Thanks, guys.